Hugs' Summit outfit tier list. It's drip or drown. Alrighty, let me pull up these rankings, yeah? So, for those of you who don't know, they recently released a top 30 tier list. So we already went over C tier and B tier, which is essentially number 30 in the world to number 11. So let's check out the article. Contender tier list continues today with part 2. All right, yada, yada, yada. All right, we're going straight into the A tier. Yeah, the naming, I know what they're doing, but to me, it feels a little insulting unless you're A tier. A tier is fine. Like, could you imagine going on a date, right? This person understands that you're a gamer. And then at the date, she asks, so, about how good are you? Like, how good are you at the game, this game that you play professionally, right? Because they're already a little hesitant to date a gamer. And if you say you're a professional, you have to really mean it. Right? Otherwise, you seem like you're trying to make this more serious than it really is. And then she asks you how good you are. And your response is going to be, well, you know, worldwide, I'm C tier. What do you think that's going to sound like? Yeah, I'm C tier. I was just speaking from experience. Well, no. See, when I was competing, okay, I had a number next to my name. And I get to say, oh, you know, I'm number 15 in the world. And that's a good number. Okay, I don't care what you know about gaming. Saying you're 15th at anything in the world is going to go over pretty well. But saying C tier, that's a little rough. But thankfully, our boy Ginger here is extremely handsome. And he's A tier, so he doesn't have to worry about shit. He could be fucking F tier with a face like that. So we got Ginger, which is honestly expected. I kind of expected him to be in the B tier, but like towards the top. But yeah, Ginger getting first at Low Tide City, a big tournament out of Texas. So the title of Michigan's best Falco player isn't enough for Ginger. No, he doesn't settle for that because you can't go on a Tinder date and just say that you are merely the best Falco in Michigan. She will spill her drink on you and walk out. You gotta have more, all right? You gotta have more for these normies. All right, so Hungrybox, interesting, actually kind of low in my opinion. Earlier, I was saying that it should be SFAT in like the top 6, and you guys were like, no, because you got like Zane, you got IBDW, you got Mango, and then you got Hungrybox, and everybody was putting Hungrybox in the top 6. Like SFAT, there just isn't room for SFAT. But Hungrybox is number 10, and I don't actually agree. The problem is, and it's actually up. The problem is that Hungrybox attends a lot of events and thus is susceptible to more losses. However, I don't believe that should hurt anybody. So it's actually kind of up. And I don't agree with it at all. Oh, wait, placement within tiers is unordered with the exception of S plus tier. Oh, god damn it. Hungrybox then not at number 10. Hungrybox just in the A tier, which makes me feel like the S tier probably starts at top 6. So let's go through it. Hungrybox showed many moments of promise in 2021. In the first in-person Melee Major of the year, he quickly silenced anyone who counted him out, beating IBDW, Amsa, Kadoran, Toussaint, and Moki. Immediately afterward, he stunned everybody at Riptide by taking a set from Whiz Rogue, a recent personal demon. Moving forward, he will need to find a consistent way through an increasingly difficult top echelon of play. Gone are the days of Hungrybox eating Fox players for breakfast and effortlessly stomping everyone else. It's going to be a grueling climb back to the top of the mountain, but it certainly would be a hell of a story. I'm still pressed about Moki. Yeah, Moki not getting ranked at all is absurd, actually. But that's the panelists' fault. They just chose not to rank him. All right, now we got Kadoran, SoCal Marth, SoCal legend, upcoming legend, or, you know, becoming a legend. Kadoran is a Marth player hailing out of SoCal, kind of just like underground killer out here until he started showing up to the big stage, and he went to Summit and he performed well, and then he kept it going, and now it's just like he's like blossoming into like full on just perennial top 10 lately. Kadoran has become a familiar face in major top 8s. His placings were no fluke either, beating IBDW, S2J, Gatsu, and SFAT. Even spoiled Mewtwo King's return to a major. But one underrated accomplishment is becoming the 6th person to ever be ranked number 1 in Southern California. Only 6 have done it. I haven't done it. I'm kind of mad. I've only been ranked 2nd. That's my highest. By doing so, he joins Mango, Ken, S2J, Westball's Flaminita as the only players to ever finish atop the region's local power rankings. Kadoran will no longer be just the 2nd best Marth player. He'll have a target on his back, and it won't only be within the confines of the world's most stacked Melee scene. What does that mean? At Nationals, Kadorn will have to fend off an ever-growing mid-level playing field. Oh, they're talking about SoCal. Okay. Of dangerous players, not too far from where he was a year ago. Top players won't be caught off guard by Kadorn either. If anything, they'll start preparing specifically for him. Yes, that's what happens. With everybody watching, will Kadorn shy away from the spotlight, or will he shine even brighter? My opinion is he'll shine brighter. He's a good player, student of the game, studies, great mindset. And he comes from SoCal, the best region in the world, baby. Oh, Polish. Okay, so to me, this is the most impressive, jump. Because Polish, I'd say about 6 months ago, would not be on anybody's radar whatsoever. You'd probably put him in the top 50. And then when it came to, the conversation about the best of the best, you just wouldn't think of him. And then he wins SmashCon. And then people start to notice. Now, I always knew Polish was good because the very first time I played Polish, he straight up beat me. And everyone was laughing, everyone in MDVA, chilling was cracking up, everybody's like, ha ha ha, Hugs lost to a random peach from MDVA. And then Polish just ended up beating everybody also, and then, I beat him back in losers because then I took him very seriously, you know what I'm saying? So I knocked him out, but he ended up in, 4th. I knew he was very good. Because beating me when I was in practice, most people didn't beat me the first time because, I'm a Samus player. They're not super familiar, and I have a lot of experience, etc. But Polish, even though he didn't have a whole lot of Samus practice, still managed to beat me straight up the first time. And then when I did beat him, it was like game 5 last hit. So it was hard as shit. And obviously now he would just beat me, right? In my mind, he was always someone who was going to continue to go up, right? I don't think you just perform like that early on and not be something special. SFAT. Oh, only A tier. So this is, okay, so we got 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So SFAT not making the top 6. I was putting SFAT in top 6. SFAT, 2nd at Smash World Tour West, 4th at Main Stage, 4th at Riptide. You could define someone as an... I think SFAT kind of lost the edge with some of the questionable losses. Not questionable, but, considering the wins, some of the losses he's had. You could define someone as an optimist or pessimist based on how they view SFAT's consistency. His top 4 at 2 separate majors is a sign that he'll stay off the podium, or a good omen for things to come. Yeah, he's the best player to never win a major. Now we're getting into the S tier. So who do you guys think is first? All right, so AMSA, well-deserved. I think it totally makes sense for the cutoff to be here. AMSA is one of those people who maintains the consistency of SFAT, but gets more of those upper echelon wins. All right, so according to the Swiss cheese model of risk management, what a start. What a start to the blurb. Any prevention against risk can be imagined as a piece of Swiss cheese. Each layer might have holes, but it's unlikely for them to all line up at once. I thought that the whole idea to mitigate risk is you have all these flimsy pieces of cheese with holes in them, but they can't line up. They're less likely to line up. So you stack 10 pieces of Swiss cheese, hear me out, and the holes are likely not to line up. So if you were to just pour a glass of milk over the 10 slices of cheese, chances are they're not going to fall through the holes, thereby mitigating the risk of the milk landing on your crotch. AMSA's Yoshi is like 20 slices of Swiss cheese with holes in them, because not all of them have holes. Okay, you go to some American delis, they have Swiss cheese that doesn't have holes. And it also depends on how you stack them, right? Sometimes you don't stack them the right way, and then the holes do end up overlapping. So, are you guys ready to move on? All right. Good blurb. All right, we got Plup first at he won Smash World Tour. I was saying, so there was a while, especially during online era Melee, where Plup was looking like he wasn't his old self. He looked like he was kind of slipping, and you'd be like, no, I mean, he's clearly still top 10, but he's probably on the lower end of it, like maybe 8th or something. But you also got news that Plup wasn't really feeling it. In July of 2021, before he even entered his first post-lockdown offline tournament, Plup hosted his own exhibition event, Plup Showdown, where he'd cross controllers with some of Florida's finest in the form of Mewtwo Whiz Rogue and Gatsu and completely decimated them. Oh, I remember that. He was also able to achieve his first national level tournament win in nearly 4 years. The last one he claimed victory at was Genesis 5 in 2018. Boy, was that a good Genesis, huh, chat? That was a good one. Plup and I made top 8. We both had similar runs at the tournament. We both finished in the top 8. There's pretty much no difference between my Genesis 5 and Plup's Genesis 5, if you really think about it. All right, Whiz Rogue, the last of the S tier. First, second, and fourth. First at main stage. Oh, yeah, he won main stage. I forgot. And second to Plup. Okay. I wish he'd show up to more things. But hailing from Central Florida, the headquarters of the 20GX movement, Whiz Rogue has made a career of implementing 20GX's philosophy and manifesto. The so-called optimal Falcon player has continued to climb the rankings ever since his debut, and this past year has been no exception, with wins over every player you can think of, including Hungrybox, Mango, and any other bracket demon he's faced. Wizzy continues to shock and awe Melee diehards with his patented tech chase to death combos. No worse than 5th at 6 major tournaments in 2021. Most notable accomplishments: first place finish at main stage, largest in-person tournament of the year by entrant count. Yep. Complete with the unique controller lasso pop-off after he defeated Hungrybox. I remember that. Despite a hiccup at Riptide, Whiz Rogue is looking dominant against the Puffmaster, carrying a 4-1 offline record against Hungrybox in 2021. After his impressive showing this season, one thing is clear: the sky's the limit for this young Captain Falcon player. Okay, S+. There he is, the person who be doing work. The guy who made Mango and Zane look really bad at Summit. IBDW's no stranger to being underrated. By the time someone deems to undercut one of his accomplishments, IBDW has already leapfrogged to the next milestone in a Melee career spanning only 6 years. He's recorded was inarguably the second fastest rise to the top 10 of any player in the modern era, bested only by fellow prodigy Zane. In September, IBDW joined an exclusive club of only 16 other players in Melee history by winning his first major at Riptide. And yet take to Twitter or Reddit afterward and you'd see the discussion that maybe this major shouldn't count as much given the absence of IBDW's biggest obstacles, Zane and Mango. However, how poetic then that Cody Schwab would silence the doubters by taking his first victory over Zane en route to a Summit 12 victory whose prestige leaves zero room for discussion. What's more, he did it his way, counter-picking Zane to Final Destination. I still don't agree with that decision, by the way. I think it's a dogshit decision. Let's continue. Zane, number 2. Okay, now this is, I will admit, surprising, because the online era had Zane in my head straight up number 1. Like, no question about it. He's the best in the world, and it's merely a matter of it is basically a formality for him to attend a live event and prove the same thing. However, has not worked that way. Why? Mentality. Mentality always a struggle. Zane, who I consider to have some of the best mentality in the game, still will struggle with it at different points. And I've mentioned before, I think there is some sort of pressure to prove that what you did online counts live, and I think that pressure might be holding Zane back a little bit. That's my theory. I could just be wrong. Going into 2020, Zane was top of the Melee world. He won Genesis 7 without dropping a set in January. Not even 2 weeks later, he got picked up by Golden Guardians as their first Melee player. Although Zane's momentum in 2020 was halted by the burgeoning coronavirus pandemic, many in the Melee community believed 2021 was going to be the year where Zane cements his place. Zane succeeded in the endeavor. Over the course of 2021, he didn't drop below 3rd place at 3 tournaments he attended, all of which were invitationals. He also took sets. He didn't attend any non-invitationals. Oh, that might be the problem, Zane. You got to get in the trenches, brother. You got to get in those trenches, those open bracket, early pool trenches, just to feel alive again at nationals. You know what I'm saying? Took sets over Mango, IBDW, Plup, and Hungrybox, establishing himself a winning record over every player in the world except Mango, against whom Zane would end the year with a negative set record of 1-3. Oh, damn. Zane's resume for the year was by all means astounding, and he certainly made a strong argument for the title of the best player in the world. However, it was his trilogy of set losses to Mango that just barely took him out of the contention for the number 1 spot. He also suffered an uncharacteristic loss to IBDW. Zane may have been unable to fully capitalize on the hype that was surrounding him in 2021, but If he can clean up his consistency, 2022 could be the year in which the Golden Swordsman begins his reign. Here we go, Mango, who only attended 2 events. If you're a Mango fan in 2018, things were looking hopeless. Mango was struggling against his toughest rivals. There was always a chance he'd lose before top 8. His glory days were gradually beginning to feel like a fading memory. Oh, shit. Yeah, it'd been a while since he won a major at that point. Then he won Gommel and everything changed. Then he started going back up. It's just like sometimes you got the monkey on your back and you just need to break through. And then you start feeling good again. He's fresh off the best year he's had since 2014, the last time he finished #1 in the world. The peak of it, winning Smash Summit 11, involved a wildly cascading series of possible greatest. Yeah, that's probably one of the best sets of all time, if not the best set. His grand finals with Mango. Sorry, with Zane. Mango might have had the greatest losers run bracket of all time, the greatest reverse 3-0 of all time, and the greatest grand finals performance of all time, and possibly the greatest set of all time, in my opinion. Maybe you don't agree, but what you can argue with is cold hard cash. The largest first place payout of all time. I think it might be the best setup. I know plenty of normies who were not into Melee, just hearing Twitter talk about it nonstop, so they decided to, oh, I'll check it out. And literally every single person watching was like, holy fuck. I've heard people tell me, who are not like Smash main people, tell me that that was one of the best esports sets they've ever seen in their lives. That's a lot for people who don't normally follow Melee. That says a lot. And by the way, I also feel that fighting games is the most watchable type of esport, and it's a shame that it doesn't get enough recognition. Because if you're trying to attract normies, fighting games are the way to do it. People who don't know shit can watch Smash and be into it. Whereas you show someone League of Legends and they don't know a goddamn thing about it, it's nothing to them. It doesn't mean anything. It's confusing. That's not really the game's fault. It's just complicated to a distant viewer. Whereas Smash, you see two people and they hit each other and it makes sense. There's nothing to say about Mango that hasn't already been said, but when you examine the ebbs and flows of his career, it's obvious that what defines him is an unparalleled dedication to the game. Above all else, it's this timeless persistence which led the now official GOAT of Melee back to his throne. Alright, so we have our top 11. And I gotta say, I 100% agree with everything. I would have loved to have like the rankings, because then Hungrybox might have been like here. I'm glad that we're back into having rankings. We need it. It causes people to invest more in the game. And in like players and viewers alike. Players knowing they're a certain rank, it fuels them. Viewers knowing that somebody is ranked and they're causing an upset, that fuels viewership too. Big fan of the list. I'm glad it's back. Oh, this is cool. Like a nice little succinct list. That's awesome. That's dope. So shout outs to all the players. This was cool to see. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye. Peace. My name is Hugs. I am a Super Smash Bros. Melee professional, and my camera decides to not work sometimes. Actually, #1 in the world. I'm #1 in the world